Tonight, are you going to watch the January 6th committee hearings about the Capitol breach? I'd love to hear from you. 217-629-7970. We'll bring you, I guess, highlights tomorrow at some point, probably early on in the show before most of you are even awake. I am on the air, by the way, from 6 to 9 each and every weekday, except for Wednesdays. We're at 8:30, full disclosure, with the Better Government Association and Jim Leach take over after we do the council roundup and a few other things. But that's on Wednesdays. Regardless, here from 6 to 9, so we'll review some of this either in the 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock hour tomorrow morning when it comes to what this big production is going to be. The January 6th committee is going to be, according to ABC, which has been talking about this all morning long, all week long, and has been reporting on this issue out of Washington, D.C. since January 6th of 2021. So here we are a year and a half later, and actually a little bit shy of a year and a half later. But ultimately, you have investigations that have been done, questioning that's happened, a variety of other news stories looking into this, that, and the other. You've got establishment media highlighting only certain things and talking to only certain people. And you've got somewhat alternative media going elsewhere and asking questions like, were there any FBI agents that were undercover trying to incite violence? Who's this Ray Epps guy? Who was the guy that shot and killed Ashley Babbitt on that day? It took a long time to get answers to all of that, and we still don't have some of the answers to all of that. But what do you anticipate hearing tonight if you plan on watching? But I do want to ask you, do you plan on watching the January 6th primetime committee hearing that's not even a fully constituted committee? Apparently, they're supposed to have a certain number of members. They don't have that certain number of members, and they've only got 2 Republicans on there, and those 2 Republicans have largely been shunned by most of the Republican Party. That's Illinois' very own Adam Kinzinger and the former Vice President Dick Cheney's daughter, Liz Cheney, are the only 2 Republicans on that committee, and they both don't like former President Donald Trump. So while they'll try to sell this as a bipartisan committee, is it really a bipartisan committee? So do you plan on watching tonight? And what do you anticipate hearing? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
No, I anticipate hearing nothing because I won't be watching. I mean, if it was truly a bipartisan committee like it was originally set up to be, but then Nancy Pelosi nixed the Republicans that they wanted on the committee,
including Congressman Rodney Davis and Congressman Jim Jordan, and they would have brought a sense of balance at least.
Yes, and then she handpicked the 2 that are on there because those are the 2 that didn't like Donald Trump. I mean, I think it's going to be nothing but however long it's supposed to be. What is it supposed to be, a couple hours or something?
I don't know. I hope it's not a couple hours, honestly.
It's supposed to be mind-numbing, just bashing Trump's what it's going to be. And, you know, I don't know. I think it's a complete waste of time. And the thing that I thought, though, if they have to do this is going to be a Democrat 2-hour advertisement for the 2022 elections in November. Then they need to give the Republicans 2 hours so they can say their piece about the whole thing too.
You know,
if they're not going to do that, then that's not fair and balanced.
A lot of network TV is going to be airing this. ABC, NBC, I'm sure CNN, wall-to-wall coverage. I think Fox News has taken it upon themselves to not air this, and I think part of what you just raised there is part of the reason, is because it's not going to be a balanced representation. And we've heard that even, Peter Schiff saying that we need to get the narrative right. We need to tell the American people what the narrative is about January 6th. I've heard that on the Talking Head shows over this past weekend. I think a lot of people are going to see it as just a hours-long advertising campaign as we head into the November election. I think that's an interesting insight.
I would like to see them go back to, I'm watching Last Kingdom right now, Vikings and Saxons fighting, and I think I'd like to see that more between the Democrats and Republicans. Give them swords and axes and let them go at it.
All right, don't. Maybe LARPing. Maybe give them, like some styrofoam swords and stuff like that. I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hi, good morning.
Hey.
My question is, you're right that they're doing this all on purpose. They want to they're trying to get people's interest. Matter of fact, Jim Leach even said it earlier this week that they need to make it more like a movie to get people interested. But
I didn't hear him say that. However, we do know that there are some big name producers that are behind this primetime presentation. And I got to say really quick on that, if they hire somebody out of Hollywood to do this, one thing that drives me nuts when I watch movies is watching Hollywood try to reenact news or trying to reenact, like clips on mainstream media and stuff like that, because they do just a horrible job of it.
I agree. Anchorman they did pretty good.
Anchorman, that's a different... That's a different, satire, and those who can tell some good jokes are able to make some good things happen. But yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be very highly produced. And is that the right way to, is this just gonna turn into propaganda?
My question is nobody ever talks about the fact that Nancy Pelosi was in charge of security that day and refused to have the National Guard there prior to this riot, whatever they want to call it. Why didn't she have the protection that she was required to get? Where's that?
Well, and then also, there's indication. I appreciate the call. There's indication that the Trump administration tried to offer up some support. There was intelligence beforehand. There might be a mass of people. And listen, I don't know the exact number of how many people were in Washington D.C. that day, but there were hundreds of thousands of people, probably 1 million plus. There in Washington, D.C. that day. Will this committee ask why they were there? What were they there doing? Why were they all showing up to Washington, D.C.? Or were they only focused on the few thousand that either breached the Capitol or were waved in to the Capitol by law enforcement, and ask the questions as to why that ultimately played out that way without security being beefed up. Apparently, we're going to hear from a whole host of people, some documentary filmmaker with some never-before-seen footage. You're also going to hear from Ivanka Trump in a recording that they did with her in questioning. So are they going to delve into some of the other things that may have started trickling? Are they going to answer the question as to who Ray Epps is? If you're not familiar with Ray Epps, he was an individual that was seen on video encouraging people to go in and say, we got to get inside the Capitol. We got to go inside. Everybody, let's go inside the Capitol. He's on multiple videos. And in the videos, you see people around him like, this guy's a Fed. Well, why has Ray Epps not been dragged in front of the committee? So are they going to answer those types of questions? Are they going to answer the questions about the circumstance of Ashley Babbitt, the one person shot and killed that day? Are they going to answer questions to that effect? Who knows? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
There's another question that they might delve on, but I doubt it, is the pipe bomb guy that dropped pipe bombs, They got him on video. They see him using his cell phone, but they can't figure out where he came from in a town where cameras are on every corner.
Yeah, if you remember, that was a pretty heated story whenever it was revealed, and then it just kind of disappeared.
They couldn't find any DNA. They couldn't triangulate his phone like they've done hundreds of people that had their feet on a desk. This guy's dropping pipe bombs. He didn't leave one cell.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if they're going to answer that question or if they're even going to delve into that. It'll be fascinating. Are you going to watch? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yeah, I'll be watching. I find it fascinating how Fox News won't run any of it because, they spent almost 20 months, ran over 1,100 segments on Benghazi that had 7 investigations that went nowhere, led to nothing.
Well, there was a bipartisan approach to that on that committee. You had Republicans and Democrats that were asking questions.
Yeah, well, now they won't even participate or watch when they've been asked to participate, or they send their loons from the party.
That's you can call them loons, but they're elected representatives that were sent there by the minority leader.
If you want a serious investigation, you got to send someone who's serious, not just.
But serious according to who? You?
No, to the nation, to the public, to Americans who want it.
So Jim Jordan's constituents don't take him seriously. So Rodney Davis's constituents don't take him seriously.
I don't take Rodney Davis seriously. He's a little weasel. So anything compared.
Okay. All you've done is just cast out, poor aspersions and bad names of people, calling them loons. And okay, yeah, a weasel. We obviously know where you're coming from. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Do you plan on watching tonight?
Good morning. I do not, and I don't think this is an exaggeration. I know we're all familiar with the term a Cold War. I honestly think this country is in a cold Civil War. I mean, and you said it right when you said this is propaganda.
Well, but when you hear that's just the question I'm asking. Is it going to turn out to be just propaganda, especially in an election year where you've got sentiments against the Democrats from public polling suggesting they're not going to have a good November. Is this all part of this equation?
Bishop, we all expected Biden to not have a good November, 18-ish months ago. And you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I know you probably haven't seen it yet, and I called up not too long ago, said you need to watch 2,000 Mules.
I watched it. I watched it.
Yeah. It's eye-opening, I'm telling you.
It's pretty eye-opening, and we'll see if there's any congressional hearings on that. Maybe they should do a primetime congressional hearing on that. All right, guys, I am like woefully late for a break. I know that if Kyle was listening right now, he's on a cruise ship. But if he was listening right now, he'd come up to this window and tell me to take a break. But I'm going to take one more call. Make it a good one. Are you going to watch the January 6th committee hearings tonight?
I'm going to try to watch it, and if it just turns into be a three-ring circus, then I'm probably just going to turn it off. But inevitably, yes, Kyle needs a wrap it up button, like Dave Chappelle had, right? But
wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
The other thing that I really want to see is them solve their problems on a paintball field. I think that would be amazing. You were saying LARPing? No. Do it out in real battle with a paintball.
I haven't done paintball in years. When I did paintball and the capture the flag type thing, and we even went to a place where there was a house and you had to storm the castle. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
In Jacksonville, they have a big pirate ship now.
Oh my God, that sounds awesome.
But no.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to have to get a group of guys together. We're going to have to go do that. I appreciate the call, and I am going to wrap this up, all right? I promise. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop, late for a break on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News.